Hello friends! Who doesn't love water parks? Water parks are perfect for family vacation and for a group of friends. People of all ages enjoy spending time there. However, if you have the impression that it's just some childish entertainment not worthy of true thrill seekers, you're going to change your mind today. Anything can happen in water parks. A huge tsunami can occur in a pool. A person can get stuck in a slide, or even fall out of it. Are you ready to see how it happens? Then grab your life jackets. We're about to start. Some things just don't go well together. While loops and roller coasters are a great combination, water slides and loops are definitely not a good fit. One of the most dangerous rides in New Jersey Action Park was a water slide called the Cannonball Loop. It was an enclosed water slide where one could develop such speed that it allowed them to completely do a vertical loop. When the park's owner first designed the slide, he sent a dummy doll on a test ride, and it came back with no head. After several adjustments, he paid park employees $100 to test out the ride because they were afraid to do it otherwise. According to testimonies, those who went on this slide almost fainted when their bodies were trapped inside the pipe, driven by gravity and a jet of water from a garden hose. One woman even got stuck at the top of the loop, so an escape hatch had to be installed. Before that incident, no one even thought that it was possible. Eventually, the ride had to be shut down. What could be better than an outdoor slide? You slide down and watch the beautiful nature around you. It's twice as cool if the slide meets your preferences with speed and appearance. The slide we're going to talk about now seems to meet all the criteria, except for one: safety. If you think there's no way to fall out of this slide, then you're plain wrong. This man was going down the slide and somehow managed to fall off of it. Fortunately, he survived. The man escaped with a trip to the hospital and a broken arm, as well as some abrasions on his back, arms, and sides. After this incident, the owner of the slide had to take it down and build a completely new one instead. The original slide had a design flaw that caused the accident. In this video, a man was going down an open slide with his friends. Everything seemed to be going well, but he was in for a big surprise at the end. The man wasn't just the first one to slide down, he also developed too high of a speed. Thus, his rubber tube hit the edge of the pool, sending him into a backward somersault. He scratched himself on the surface, but quickly got up, which means that he didn't sustain any serious injuries, but the experience still wasn't a pleasant one. Many people dream of having a vacation somewhere in the middle of the sea or ocean, on a huge cruise ship equipped with different water slides. Foreseeing all the excitement, the owners of one of the cruise ships installed several different slides on it. All of them were quite steep and had loops. The test runs were successful, which meant they could safely allow people to go on the slides. At least, that was what the owners of the ship thought. But in fact, as soon as people started going on this slide during the first cruise, something terrible happened. A young woman was going down the enclosed slide, but couldn't get through the first loop. She slowed down to a stop and got stuck. Having pushed a little, she started sliding again. The only problem was that she went backwards. We don't know how they managed to get her out of the slide, since the start was from a rather high point, so it was unlikely that the assistants could have simply reached her with their hands. They probably had to dismantle the slide. The slide was shut down immediately after this incident. And this wasn't so much a water slide as it was a free fall experience. The video shows the young man falling out of the slide at such an angle that he was virtually flying in the air. Unfortunately, this poor fellow didn't have a soft and safe landing. The footage was made in 2008 at a water park in Utah and is enough to make anyone feel sick to their stomach. It was also enough to shut down this slide as it was endangering the park visitors. Today, many water parks have so-called wave pools. There are usually a lot of people in such water parks, especially in China. a country where there are a lot of people by definition. In one of the local water parks, people went to get a water massage, which is done with the help of the waves. Some people came alone, some came with friends, and others came with their whole families. Suddenly, the waves started getting more and more powerful, covering people completely. Dozens of people went underwater due to a very large wave. First, it lifted everyone in the front and then crashed those people into those that were behind them. 44 people were hospitalized as a result of this accident. Some had broken ribs, but most of them only got numerous bruises. Do you think there was a way to avoid the situation? Or was it a system malfunction, which could only be solved by closing the water park? And this was a double tube slide, which meant that two people took it at once. They sat in the same tube, gradually picking up speed. People mostly went to this slide for the thrilling moment at the end, and for these two, it was especially memorable. They didn't fall out of the slide, but they did roll over and they did get several bruises. Water parks are the favorite vacation spots for many people, although they can be quite dangerous, as you have already seen. But has it ever stopped anyone? Of course not. The same applies to regular amusement parks where unfortunate accidents can also happen. Not far from Detroit, Michigan, some resourceful people built a special slide, which was something like a water slide, except it had no water. I don't know who they made it for, because I don't know how brave one would have to be to go down this slide. The only protection people got was some cloth they wrapped around themselves, which was supposed to protect them from accidental cuts. But that wasn't the most dangerous part of the slide. At the slightest increase in speed, people literally took off into the air, but then quickly got punished for it by the force of gravity. A couple of such high-speed and seemingly exciting sliding experiences turned out to be the cause of many injuries. Of course, this slide was quickly shut down because of a number of complaints. The next incident happened at one of the amusement parks in Florida. A group of friends came out to have fun in the middle of the night. They went for the well-known slingshot ride. It got its name from the fact that people go inside a capsule, which is pulled down by strong cables on both sides. When everyone is seated and ready, the operator presses the button and people get shot into the sky, feeling incredible speed at first and the free fall afterwards. However, what happened in this video is definitely nothing short of a sign from higher powers. The two men were already sitting in the capsule, and the women were counting down to their time of launch. But right when the operator was about to press the button, one of the cables broke. Can you imagine yourself in their place? They all understood perfectly well that if the cable had broken a few seconds later, their ride would have ended in tragedy. Apparently, one of the men had a guardian angel. There simply is no other explanation. Friends, that's all for today. Like the video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.